What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys another Movember review. Chapter 111 of Ayakashi Triangle. Now, there are some times, even with the great series, even with things like One Piece, for example, with some of the bigger series that where you sit back and you just go, when you're reviewing week to week, month to month, what have you. Sometimes you just sit down, and it's not because you're busy, like I get, or because you have some anxiety or stress or can't get out of your own way or what have you, right? Sometimes you just don't have anything to say about a chapter. It's not good. It's not bad. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. There was dialogue. There were panels. There were characters. It was 20 pages. In all honesty, that's all I have for this chapter. This chapter, it's not even a fun or funny fluff chapter to me. Out of all the scenarios, given the fact that they're going hardcore borderline hentai, trust me, go check the uncensored images of this manga. This shit is borderline. This is like softcore porn at this point, right? This is softcore hentai. That's the only difference between this and a full-blown hentai is it's softcore, you know? And in all honesty, you could make an argument for that. So, given that knowledge, throughout the story and throughout all the fluff chapters, as I call them, all the fluff chapters. I know some people refer to as fluff as sex. I don't know where that fluff to me is, like Cloud9. It's fluff. It's like a cloud. There's a million clouds in the sky. It's not relevant. It's not relevant to mention that there's a cloud in the sky when there's a million clouds in the sky, right? It's a nonsensical. The kids went to school that day and nothing interesting happened. That's what fluff means, There was a kitten saved out of a tree by a firefighter. That's a fluff story, right? So, to me, this chapter was not even considered fluff. It is fluff, but it should have been a romantic chapter. Because that was the point of the chapter. Mai wasn't interrupting. There was no Ninokuru. There was there was nobody else. Shirogane wasn't even there to interrupt. It was literally a Matsuri. I mean, there were characters in the background, but it was literally a flashback into the present day Matsuri and Suzu having a sort of a night together, but in the most strictest of senses, out of all the cliche scenarios, and I grew up with Young and the Restless, All My Children, and Bold and the Beautiful, motherfuckers. I know my soap operas being babysat by my grandmother and my mother for the first 10 years of my life. Trust me. I know my cliches, and I know my drama. And I know my soap operas, I know my romance, I know the love triangle, I know it all. Out of all the cliches in the world, this was dumb. Even for a dream sequence, the whole, did it actually happen or was it just a dream thing at the end? But who the fuck cares if it happened or didn't happen at the end of the day? The only reason the whole, did it happen or did it not happen thing was literally is made for two reasons. Only two. There are only two reasons to ever do that. Is to do it's going to be relevant later, or it's a moment that we as fans want to be true because it's when the two main characters share their first kiss, or a very vulnerable moment, or something that we can believe, oh, it didn't actually happen, but we suspect it did, sort of idea, and the fan base argues over it, or that kind of idea. They really did kiss, they really didn't kiss, the romance at heart, right? That is the reason for the whole, was it all a dream or did it truly happen? Did someone actually confess their love, their feelings? Was there a moment of weakness? All these major character development moments. That's the second reason, is character development moments. Is the only reason to ever do this trope. But we've already had the confession. You can make an argument that it's like, oh, I couldn't admit that Suzu looks good in an apron, which... whatever. It's literally watered down worse than the 60s version of soap operas. This is, like, it's not even worth calling it a trope. It's not even worth calling it a cliche because it was handled so poorly. They took a common trope that, as I said, gives two reasons for the reason we use it and the reason it can work. And we're not even given some random third reason that doesn't work. They're trying to make it reason number 2. They're trying to make it a character development moment, something that we didn't already know. Like, and even the whole, oh, I doubt if he really loves me bullshit. No. Like, it wasn't, there was no evidence for it, so we're not on Suzu's side. And we're not on Matsuri's side in this chapter, because there's no reason for him to be like, no, I don't think you look good in my apron. Like, what? She's fishing for a compliment, it's obvious. And by the way, if he knows, so here's the problem. Matsuri only, once again, he doesn't have the 3 options. If he's the dumb protagonist, he just says what he thinks. Which, that did not happen, because he was blushing. So he's not the dumb protagonist, which just says what he thinks, like, oh, that makes you look fat, or something like that. Something stupid, right? Or, why are you wearing that? That's dumb. You know, he didn't do the dummy protagonist thing, see, because he's blushing, so he knows. He knows she's fishing for a compliment, and instead chooses not to give her one. That is not the Matsuri I have known for over 100 chapters, by the way. That makes no sense. See, this entire rabbits from the moon and all this bullshit, none of that is relevant. What's relevant here is that this chapter literally does nothing. It absolutely does nothing and insults. I don't know how. I'm almost kind of impressed. And this is the reason that at the end of this review right now, I'm going to say I couldn't bring myself to hate or dislike the chapter because I'm actually, unfortunately, impressed. I'm impressed that they took a cliche, a groaner, like a, oh my god, time travel again, or oh my god, another one of these, oh my god, another power up at the moment one of the biggest cliches, one of the story cliches that people hate or love, or another amnesia character, of course, the thing that people hate. They took a groaner of a cliche at the average, sometimes handled well, as I pointed out. It can be handled well, but most of the time is a bit of a groaner and definitely a cliche and a trope. And they somehow managed to make it the bottom of the barrel. Somehow they sunk so low to make it, like, now I look forward to when it's done properly. When it's actually done right, in a groaner type of way. I'm actually impressed that they managed to fuck up a cliche that has been around longer than almost anybody on Earth. And, well, there's some people that are over 100. Don't know if that shit exists. Anyways, shit's over 5 decades old at the bare minimum, okay? This shit is 50, 60 years old at least as a cliche, if not better. And just to my limited knowledge. And the fact that they literally took it, fucked it up, and managed to make it like the worst version of that cliche possible just makes me look forward to watching another Young and the Restless episode tomorrow. You know what I mean? I think I'd be better off watching the 2 o'clock soap operas at this point. I mean, I really like Eric Brayton. I'm just saying, that man's a legend. So, yeah, at this point, I don't even know what the point of this chapter was. It had no purpose. Not even fluff for fluff's sake. There was no purpose. There was zero purpose to this chapter. It did nothing. So, I don't know. You guys tell me. I tried to stretch this out to be about 10 minutes. Hopefully it makes that. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you back here next time. God damn it. Get back to the story, Ayakashi Triangle. Your fluff chapters are really going fast.